Let I don't know why they do that, but what to do. Try to really have gratitude in the heart and just a lot of love and joy inside. And understand that it's not just in the meditation class, it's really whatever you do during the day. It should be this sense of gratitude, a sense of joy about your life, because each and every one of us is truly a miracle of life, you know? And the only thing that keeps us from being a miracle of life is what goes on in our heads. So try to really open your heart, try to feel that love inside. And every one of us is worth it. People are still coming. Every one of us is really worth living that way. And all it's a matter of is building a system inside that allows us to do it. So please, we'll have a meditation class. And then afterwards, if anyone has a question, I'll be happy to try and answer it. Does anyone have a question they would like to ask?
Stuart Niovi, I want to ask if you could talk about the crown chakra. I think we always talk about the base chakra and the heart chakra. How is the crown chakra blocked? Just elaborate on that.
Well, you know, look, if you activate kundalini, if you open that pathway up the spine to the crown chakra, it's not blocked. It's really not blocked. What's blocked are all the chakras that are on kind of a human level, the heart, throat, because that's where all the tension is. The mind, the brain, below the navel, the sex. But once you activate kundalini, there's no blockage there. And if the spine, you know, is not blocked and the energy can move up the spine, the crown chakra is not a blocked chakra. There's not tension there. What the rest of the body and the rest of us, there's a lot of tension. And that keeps the energy of kundalini from rising to the crown chakra, which is the pathway to God, to enlightenment, to, you know, what they call Atman, the soul of the universe. That really is the problem. It's not the crown chakra. So our job is to open up the rest of these chakras and get stronger so the energy can move from the base of the spine to the top of the head. And there it kind of hibernates. And as we mature inside, as that chakra gets a little stronger and more open inside us because of that energy of kundalini, the crown chakra will then open and allow the soul of the human being to pass and connect with the soul of the universe. So the problem isn't tension in the crown chakra. The problem is we spend all our time in our heads, in our emotions, our sexual energy, and that's the problem. Those, you know, that chaos has to be quieted inside us. We have to get balance and we have to get, you know, it doesn't mean we stop having emotions, you know, but we can transform negative emotions into love, into joy. It doesn't mean that we stop using our mind to work out problems in the world, but we can transform all that tension in the mind into chi, which gives us the ability to allow higher energy to come and truly give us knowledge, wisdom. And it's the stuff I talk about all the time, you know? These are where the problems are. Once the energy activates kundalini, you know, kundalini, you know, really will move up the spine. In many ways, kundalini will heal problems that we have in the spine. Tensions, subluxations, all kinds of things that are difficult, you know, in the spine. And then it opens the crown chakra. So the first elements in having a spiritual life is getting the human level together. We got to get ourselves whole, living here. And what does that amount to? Love, knowledge, sexual energy. I mean, all the energies that control our lives, except we learn how to discipline them and use them consciously. Then the kundalini, which when the kundalini is activated, it's literally the transformation of the human to the divine. And this is all pretty simple. It's not easy to do. But the whole principle of what the meditation evolves around is very simple. Transformation of the human to the spiritual. And attaining a state of enlightenment that way. That transformation truly begins to take place when energy moves through the sexual area. Because then you bring together, create a harmony and a balance inside, which is the male-female principle. So all of this works together. None of it is isolated, It all has to work together. And honestly, it's something that you never can understand. It's not possible. It's just something that becomes, as I say all the time, living experience. If you try to rationalize this and understand it, and you'll make yourself crazy, because it's beyond human comprehension. It just becomes, instead of understand, I am, to be conscious of how, spiritual energy works inside a human being, and to allow it to become a living reality. Please try and sit still, to allow it to become a living reality. So, the crown chakra is not a tense place. Tension is in the mind, in the emotions and sexual energy. The lack of chi creates a lot of tension in a person. That imbalance inside that it keeps us from truly activating kundalini. And you can activate kundalini in many ways, but I'm talking about a healthy activation of kundalini that really is not going to burn a person up, but is going to be a pathway to enlightenment.
Thank you.
And that's the chakra system. When I was a kid, who ever heard of a chakra, I mean it, today every 7-year-old can tell you about chakras. And it's just a whole different energy today. But this system is essential if, first of all, we're going to live here on the highest level of what it means to be human. Secondly, if we're going to transform our humanity into a spiritual life, into a connection with God. And to discover that there's no separation between living in the world and being free of the world. It just depends upon how highly developed a person's system is. And then we live here, enjoy here, love here, have compassion here. And we're at the same time, that kundalini is freeing us. The soul is being freed to connect with God. Does anyone else have a question I would like to ask? I think it's a wonderful way to live here, to be a happy human being with joy and love. And at the same time, building a system that is really freeing one's, soul to not have to return to all of this drama and tension and, this kind of merry-go-round of insanity that we live in the world. That's all because of people's egos and minds. And, you can't even be angry at people because they have no training. They don't know an alternative course of living. So their whole life is dependent upon what goes in the mind, the emotions, sex, determines their entire, how they're being here. So you can't be even unhappy or upset about it because people don't have training. So anger and revenge and all this stuff that goes on in the world, that just keeps everybody at everybody else's throats. There's no training. There's no inner development in people. And then you have to look at it another way. A lot of people, most people, are not ready yet for inner development. It takes many, many, many lifetimes just to get ready to develop an inner life and a connection. You got to experience this world. You got to beat your head against the world 1,000 times before you say finally, well, there's got to be an exit from this. There has to be an answer in myself to where I can find joy, I can find love, I can find happiness in my life. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask?
Stuart?
Yes.
I want to just share with others. It was very special to meditate with sun and sea before to look at water and with your energy.
No, listen, just ask a question, okay? Because do you have a question you would like to ask?
I can ask, is it better to meditate with you and outside when it's sun? I just felt that was much deeper.
It's not better. No, honestly, Flora, it's not better and it's not worse. If you like doing that, then do it that way. Other people might prefer to be inside. I don't have any answer for that. It just depends on everybody. I've had meditation classes in the forest. I've had a meditation class. We used to go up to I was in an airplane crash with my teacher, and at the top of this mountain, there was this airplane that was wrecked, and we would go up there once every year and have meditation there.
It's 2:00.
We do it at shrines, we do it in nature, and also inside. There's no better or worse. Wherever you are, you have to be centered. And you have to be able to build a system inside that really is strong enough. So you're sitting in nature, you can, do it. You're sitting in your bedroom, you're sitting in a meditation class, you're sitting wherever you are. Years ago, when I ran a gallery in New York, I had lots of people. I had a very interesting esoteric gallery of just Hindu and Buddhist art and stuff like that. And I used to get all kinds of spiritual travelers would come through. I'm going to, the Andes, I'm going to the Himalayas, I'm going to, I'm going to go to ashrams in India. I used to hear this all the time from people. And I got so tired of it that I wrote a line that turned up in a book of mine that is, I wrote a book called Moving On, Finding Happiness in a Changed World. It's a book of aphorisms. And one of the aphorisms was, the most sacred place on earth is wherever you're standing. It's not some place where it's better. Wherever you are, it's sacred because that's where you are. Whether you're in Norway, you're in Brooklyn, you're in Israel, you're in Holland, you're in Belgium, doesn't matter, That's the most sacred place in the world because that's where you are. And that's where you are connected with God. So I don't know better or worse. Wherever you are, it's a holy place. Do you really connect with God? I left out, Switzerland, I think, I don't know where you are, Emma, Spain or France or wherever you are, it's sacred. I'm here in Connecticut. Whoever thought in my life I'd ever live in Connecticut? And here I am. And this year has become a truly sacred year for me, doing these classes. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? You have a question?
I have a question.
Yes.
It's about the experience.
You have to speak up, Laura.
I'm wondering, how can you have this experience of knowing happiness and feeling grateful, but not feeling it?
Laura, can you do me a little favor, please? When you ask
Yeah.
the question, just sit still, okay? Don't have to move or, no, go ahead. I'm sorry, ask the question again.
No, thank you. I just wonder, how can you have the experience of feeling grateful, feeling love, feeling happiness, but not completely, and in that way, not feeling at all? It's like knowing, but not feeling.
Well, I know, that's why you came back to these classes, dear. I really mean it. Because you can only get that by developing an inner life that is strong enough to live that way. By developing the chakra system, that truly is strong enough to allow you to live that way. Knowing it is not enough. Even understanding it is not enough. But when you build the third chakra inside and you have that kind of inner strength, when you can keep the heart open because you have that kind of inner strength, when the mind is quiet so you can receive real knowledge and wisdom from the universe, when you have that kind of inner strength through time and working on yourself and through getting training, learning how to do it, that's how it becomes something from something to something you live with. So you have to build that kind of inner life that enables you to live that way.
What do I do about physical pain when I
Say-
feel like I'm bumping into this huge?
Look, I always tell people, Laura, that difficult things are not negative. They're just reminders that you need to grow inside yourself. If you see them as the enemy, as being negative, and you really get freaked out because of them, you're not reminding yourself, hey, I need to grow inside myself. I need to get stronger. And when you begin to see life that way, there's no longer positive and negative. There's just opportunities to truly grow. And that's all part of building an inner life. I mean, when I have difficult situations, and trust me, I have them all the time, I don't get upset about them. Okay, Stuart, you really got to grow. I had a couple last week that were literally impossible. They were so, please try and sit still. They were so difficult. And all it did was remind me, Stuart, I have to grow. I didn't get upset. I didn't get angry. I didn't get anything. I said, Stuart, you really have to develop more inside yourself. And if you look at the world that way, there's no more positive and negative. There's just opportunities to grow. And in many ways, we need difficult situations because they make us stronger, especially if you use them consciously. If you say, okay, I can't deal with this. This is really hard. I got to get stronger in myself. I got to work deeper in myself. That's how. It doesn't just happen because like you turn a light on in a room. A human being's responsibility is to do their inner work. Most people don't. And that's why there's so much craziness. But if people would do their inner work, a lot of this insanity would disappear. in the world. Instead of, I got to take revenge, I got to kill somebody because they said something nasty about me. What do I got to do to fix me? God is reminding me that I got to get stronger. I got to fix me. And this is what I'm trying to do here. You understand? Not an easy job, but this is what I'm trying to do. Help people learn how to fix themselves. And if you can do this and you can master the difficulties in life without allowing them to upset you and drain your energy out of you and you're doing me an incredible favor. It's the best gift you can give me.
Both for me and for the whole world, actually.
Excuse me?
Both for me and the whole world.
Well, for you, look, you came back to study here, and this should be one of the goals, getting Laura really together inside, building a strong inner life, getting balance in yourself, being able to keep your heart open, getting rid of all the fear, the insecurity in yourself, by building a strong inner life, making a commitment in yourself to do this. Because, it just doesn't go away. I learned that at an early age. It just didn't go away until one day I met somebody who could teach me how to make it go away. And boy, was I grateful when I met that person, because I knew there was somebody out there who could teach me this. And then it took time, patience, working, commitment to God, to a spiritual life. And suddenly it changes inside. The way you see the world changes. When I got your email the other day, Laura, I was so grateful, because I understand the creative energy in you, but also how you need training. You need to discipline yourself and learn how to focus and build an inner life that is really strong. And all of that creativity is going to come out in a joyous, wonderful way.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask?
Stuart?
Yes.
I feel like I'm in a type of bardo state, where a type of like a bardo place, bardo, like in between of experiencing the unknown. Like my entire understanding of spirituality has changed since I met you, but at the same time I'm not able to know what to do. I don't have this intuitive spiritual energy coming through me, like guiding me. So I don't know. How long did it take for you before you experienced like?
Look, I'll tell you, it's still taking, Don't worry about it, Skenda. Just get grounded in yourself. That's your job, to get really grounded, and the rest of that will take care of itself. Get grounded and stop trying to know so much, because you're never going to know this stuff. You get grounded, you get your heart open, the rest of it will take, you'll see. You'll get a kind of understanding that the human brain can never get by just being. You'll see it happen, and you'll learn how to let go, because that's also a big job. You need to have to learn how to let go. You don't have to control everything. And frankly, none of us can control anything in life, We just have to build an inner life that is strong enough to let the spirit come through and guide us. You just trust it. It works. It's worked for me. It's worked for many people. You know, I also, I don't know, I've written a lot of books in my life. One of them is called From Darkness to Light. And this is a really interesting book because I used to teach in a prison in Oregon, and I used to have a lot of female inmates that would come to my classes. And there was one young girl who walked in the room one day. She was about 21 years old at the time. And I mean, she was a wisp of a thing, and she had blue hair, and was a junkie, covering from heroin or whatever she used to do, cocaine. And, it was amazing because there was like a very deep connection with this person. And in the period of about 2 years that she was there, we wrote 160 letters to each other. And the letters were not about transformation, they were transformation. How this person who was literally on the point of killing herself, her whole life transformed. And you see this take place in these letters, from the first to the last. And she's out now and she's doing unbelievable, got scholarships to major college, went to Russia on a scholarship. It's extraordinary what happened to this young woman. She's about 27 years old now. And all of it was about transformation, surrender, letting go, letting God work through her instead of this crazy head she had and anger and trusting that in time, this really works. So, I've been through it. I've been through it myself. I've been through it with hundreds and hundreds of people. I mean this. And you have to have patience. It takes time and it takes a lot of work. Even my teacher always used to say, Stuart, work brings more work. And he's right. Work has never left me alone in my life. I always seem to be doing impossible work in my life. And yet at first and then I said, Stuart, just let go and do what you got to do. Serve God. So just trust and it'll come. It's coming. You're a changed person already. I don't really know what you studied before, but you're so much clearer now. And there's such a depth in you now that wasn't there when I first met you. Be grateful for it and let the higher forces work on you. They know better than you and I and everybody, and they will do the job. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? Okay, if there are no more questions, then there will be a meditation on Tuesday. And I truly, God bless you all for being here, for asking questions, for doing this work. I can't tell you how much it also helps me to open and receive this incredible teachings that come through. So bless you, bless the people that invented Zoom, whoever they are, and I'm looking forward to seeing everybody on Tuesday.
Bless you too. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.